Now that the market is doing some volatility, people would look at it and ask, okay, what exactly is happening? Whether you are a micro trader looking at it on an hourly, or you're someone looking at it on a short term, say 4 hour, 12 hour, or someone looking at a 3-day, weekly, macro, it's now showing you something, right? Which direction is the trend? This is what I want to reiterate. When you are here on a 4-hour chart, you're observing the fact that it put in a lower high, it's putting in a lower low scenario. Good. When you zoom in, yeah, it's true. It's doing just that. It's kind of playing with that. Now, when you go on a 3-day chart, it's the same. You had a long swing to the downside. Now you're slowly retracing to the upside, losing momentum in each leg up. So whenever you correct to the downside or break this pattern, the movement to the downside is going to be happening with higher momentum. Now you pick up longer horizon charts. This is just Solana in front of you. And it kind of, for me, at least in my eyes, says, yeah, there is a negative divergence, but the rails are not done yet. I mean, why would they make it really easy for anyone and everyone to short directly? Those who are entering on levered shorts, they may actually do something like this before they start pushing it further to the downside. That's something we have seen historically, like, when the top is already there, they come in, they play out, they play very carefully to make sure the majority does not actually make money. Now, how can you take care of that? One of the easy part to do is look at the Bitcoin and total crypto market, compare it with the alt market. If alt market is resonating with that, now you need to be careful. Now, there is a lot of different coins which I want you to have your attention on, because say, if you remember, there are different assets like this. If you get a chart, no, not that one actually. You need a longer horizon chart for that. I mean, if you look at last 3 years, 5 years, and then see, okay, this shit actually played out in that asset, and it's likely to happen in other crypto. Now you know what we are talking about. Yeah. Now we are going through a lot of these, asking all the questions which you want on all different assets. We're going through that. We're publishing that one by one, so you don't miss it out. Yeah. So now here, let me pick up that coin, which is Namecoin. Now it's a market cycle perspective for that asset. Yeah. Put it on a log scale and watch it on a macro, because the moment you flip that chart onto a weekly and then observe it, it's an entirely different thing. Yes, there is swings to the upside in each market cycle, but that thing is not going up. You can clearly see this. Now you go to YouTube, Twitter, wherever you want, and then check. A lot of people are still bullish on this. Now, yes, short term they're correct, it's going up, but macro it's not. Now pick up any asset which you want. Say, we'll start with XRP. Taking XRP weekly from coin market cap. Now observe this, which is in front of you, like the volume which came in, it kind of shows the price actually has been pushed to the upside. But as I was saying in Solana, I think the exact same thing has to happen. Like when they had a negative divergence here, immediately it went down. Yeah, I agree. But I don't think they're going to repeat that here. Rather, they'll play the 1, 2, 3 structure. There is a possibility like that. It may wick to the upside. A lot more people may go back in buying, and then it drops. Now, why such an argument? Because everyone is already bullish. Why such an argument? This is the only trend line which you can actually connect. And then if you do a fake out above that trend line, it's going to push a lot more people into the market. But where is your support? This is where I want your attention very deeply. That pattern was visible in a lot of different assets in last cycle too. We saw that, how it happened. Yeah. So the price is going up, but the support is still the same. Now, pick up XLM and observe. Can you see something similar in XLM, especially in the last market cycle, and especially the top of the last market cycle? The price was going back up, pushing higher each time it goes. But then the supports were still the same. So you saw what happened at the end. Now that's XRP, that's XLM, good. Now you go back. You go back into, say, we'll pick up what? We'll pick up the total crypto market. Total crypto market makes a lot of sense here, because if you do observe the total, you can actually see liquidity being trapped in. $4 trillion has been a huge mark. I mean, a lot more money came into the market, anticipating that it is going to be a huge bull run, that it's $4 trillion. Now it's going to go quickly to 4.4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That kind of a narrative was very strong in the market. And right now you're watching this. One candle to the upside. Just the next candle erased that completely, and it's closed. And it's not an hourly candle, it's a 3-day candle. So the candle close is in front of you, arguing that, okay, watch, observe, learn. Yeah. Now, if you connect, if you happen to connect all these stops, then you're actually standing here and saying, oh shit. Now, yes, it's one thing is true that I call the negative divergence in here, did not anticipate this kind of a fake out on a macro, and then that happened. Yeah, this was what I was talking about. Now, this happened here, and a lot of people went in to buy. What would it look like if the price is to say, I played a game, which means the whales, if they are to say, I played a game, what would you look like? You have to think about it, because last cycle, if you were here with the negative divergence and then a push to the upside, while the RSI was still going down, we saw what happened. Now, this pattern is so familiar for all of us who have been there for the last market cycle. We saw, okay, this is exactly how things happen, and it may go against us. Good. Now, being a bull in the market, you would look at this and say, okay, that is a weekly candle close in the total crypto market. Total crypto market, arguing that's a huge hammer. Look at the shadow of that wick, and you can think about the total amount of supply which came into the market at that price region. Now we go back. Yeah, we've seen something like this. We came back up for sure, but you really did not break that to the upside until you had a decent correction. Yes. Now, at this point of the market cycle, even that kind of a decent correction would start panic. Why? Because a lot of people actually went in bullish. Think about it. 37% drop from the local highs in terms of Bitcoin would mean what? You are coming back down to $2.6 trillion in the total crypto market, which means Bitcoin is dropping heavy. Now, the panic would set in very quickly, very easily. But right now, you pick up altcoin market, just comparing it with what exactly happened with the last one. Now, while you look at that, you kind of see, okay, this also has a hammer here. If you look back in history, where have you seen such hammers? Did the price drop immediately? Here, no, it took some time. It took 3 more weeks before it actually started dropping. Yeah, good. Now we go back here, it's like, oh shit. There it happened quickly. Now we're looking at this, and they're like, there it happened quickly. So what exactly is changing this time? Yeah. One, you have to understand, last time the market pushed that much to the upside, and then those came in saying, okay, sell, move out. So there was a significant amount of people who had decent amount of profit. So they took the profit and stepped out. That's it. They were not charting the market. They were just taking the profits. This time around, you really do not have a lot of different coins popping through the roof. So very limited individuals saw some decent gains. Only they are taking and absorbing the gain. Whereas the majority still believe there is going to be a huge bull market coming in, because the thought process or the argument in here is we are still at the all-time highs like this. We are testing that region. After that comes the blow off the top. Maybe that is true. Maybe that is true. But the reality or the trouble with that is when you reach there, you actually see this. This is one top to the breakout of that top, and you see massive difference in the volume. Do you see this? Like, the trouble is, not everyone would like to agree on that, even though it is in front of you. I mean, it does not fit everyone's narrative. But look at this. There is volume here and there is a volume here. So you had an idea that there is a ton more money coming into the market to push to that direction. Good. Now, this is the last high. Yeah. You came up here. Now plot it. Where are you? You're almost exactly the same region. You haven't pushed up with way more liquidity. So there is a chance that it can drop. But trouble is, majority in the market deny the fact that there is a possibility that the market can actually start dropping. So this is usually where some kind of bad things happen. Maybe it's news wise, maybe it's market cycle wise, maybe it's a hack. No one knows how it's going to enter the market. But yeah, obviously, the argument then comes from the Bitcoin dominance, which is also true, that whenever the Bitcoin dominance drops, you actually have an all season. But the troubling part here should be this. What if this is a fake out? Now, yes, it did break to the downside. Yeah, it did. There's no other argument at this point. It broke to the downside. But if you do look at this thing as a support resistance region, it was a resistance and then became a support, and right now you're playing in that region. So if in case Bitcoin does something in a panic mode and also react to it, then the troubling part come back in. Oh, the Bitcoin dominance needs to bounce back up. Or even if Bitcoin dominance is staying here and moving down, you look at this. Bitcoin is down 0.38%. Ether is down 0.6%. So that's a large cap alt. Now we look at XRP, it's down 0.78%. So when you compare it to Bitcoin, it's kind of double. Yeah. So dominance will play out like that even while the market does stupid things. Yeah. The market is going to play a lot of different games. Now, pick up Ether. A lot of questions came in here. One of the primary argument which I made was like, I thought it's going to be the top here, but no, I was wrong. It went up. Now, when it actually went up, what you have to notice is the idea of the negative divergence here, that was true. That was good. Now, the idea of negative divergence extension came in on a daily. At the same time, negative divergence came in on a 3-day chart. Get? Now watch. If the weekly, as I was saying, if the weekly, yeah, I know that's a big if. If the next weekly candle closes anyway in red, you kind of have another negative divergence, which is now on the daily, on the 3-day, on the weekly. So all these three we saw in a lot of different assets before they started dropping. So one by one, when you go through asset to asset, you are looking at segment to segment. Yes, I agree. In a lot of these which I posted, I saw a lot of them being in macro accumulation. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? Because people do not consider that the market can go nuts. What do I mean? Let me take you guys back into this. This is an asset which did not participate in a bull market, yeah, while everything was going up. And I was personally in it saying, okay, it's still accumulation region. But what happened? Boom, it broke through. That time I exited. I took the loss. Yeah. But yeah, we covered it using quant back then. But if you remember, think about it. This is accumulation region for sure. But it did not participate in the bull market and it did participate in the bear market. Now you see what happened. Yeah. So this is possible in a lot of those different tokens, which are showing you I'm still in a macro accumulation. But then Bitcoin is showing I'm topping out. So if Bitcoin guy actually drops, it is going to create panic in the market. So that's why I say keep your eyes focused on Bitcoin, keep your eyes focused on the total crypto market. If they flip, there is going to be trouble.